round finals from Rockford, Illinois. Well, only 2 remain. Leanne Barrette, the top seed, and Nikki Gianulias, who is fresh from a 257 game in the semifinal, will match up here for the Brunswick Open title.
We've seen Leanne in the last 3 telecasts, Denny. She has not been able to get anything going. Her high game in those 3 telecasts has only been 200, but I think she's going to beat that here tonight.
Yeah, safe bet. She opens up with a strike. This one could be X-City from start to finish. Both
players, if there were 2 players out here on the tour that were the strongest, I would have to say it were these 2 players.
Yep, you'll see him revving this thing up a little bit. 34 has been obviously the best lane for Nikki G. Although when you shoot 250, they both got to be pretty good. She comes out and leaves the ringing 10.
Great shot. The ball coming in just a little bit late behind the head pin, though. Leave that ringing 10. Sent the 6 pin up to the moon, you might say.
It's amazing how Nikki G and Leanne Barrette sometimes can make it just look easy.
Well, they say strength and all shouldn't really play a big part of the game of bowling. It used to be the finesse and the style sport, but anymore it's the power players. Both these players are very tall, like we mentioned in the opening. Leanne Barrette 5'10", Nikki at least 5'9". They can get a lot on the ball. Their hand size is also a lot larger than many of the women players out here on the tour.
So some weeks it's a tremendous advantage. This one rolls out in the pocket, slices out the 5 pin, so a strike for Nikki G in the second.
Well, halfway down, right around the 5th board, as she slices the rack. Leanne Barrette has been in this #1 position just 5 times, and she has 1 title. So not a real good position for Leanne to be in, the high qualifier.
All right, now answer me this. Why is she playing in on the right-hand lane? That does not look like the area to be in.
Well, actually, Leanne struck on the last shot, and her ball at 15 feet was relatively in the same area. Now she's in around the 11th board, and then her ball's going out, should be going out to the 5th board as well. That time, it only made it out to about the 10th board. So she actually just tugged that, didn't trust it out to the right. So we can see Leanne's game. Now she walks a little bit crooked here. She takes 4 steps, but she straightened it out quite a bit after working with Gary Dickinson. She actually plants late with her timing, but when she rips that ball through, it's that sweeping motion.
The key in her game is watch when her left foot hits the line and watch where the ball is in relation to that foot. It's still almost at her waist. Haley tugs it through and revs it up and leaves the 7 pin. In all fairness to Leanne, an incredible week for her. She came down with a severe ear infection, had to go to the doctor here on Saturday. Told me she got a shot of antibiotics, and the shot wasn't in either arm, as she joked and winked, but she's had cotton in her ear all week long, and it's not been an easy week health-wise, but when you have talent like she does, you're able to overcome those things.
Well, see, maybe I should bowl next week. I'm starting to feel this cold coming on. Tish was sick and won. Leanne is not feeling up to par and winning.
Interesting, Leanne said, I had this cotton in my ear. My equilibrium was off all week long, and she said, my mom called me and said, hey, maybe that'll straighten out your approach a little bit. He really has quite a sense of humor. Great approach to the game. Ahead by 1, trying to make it 11, and she does. Right now, you got to say that Nikki G is the favorite in this match.
Well, Nikki had a game there to warm up, get the feel of the lanes, and find her line, and she sure did when she shot 257 in the first game. As we can see here, her ball hitting around the 5th board, and just a great shot. 18 miles an hour.
Well, see, my question is, she's playing the 5-6 board, right? Got a great reaction. Leanne's playing left of that. I guess maybe her equipment's hooking a little bit early, or she doesn't have something that has the same kind of reaction. Look at that. That's out to the 1 board and nearly a strike. I mean, if you're playing these lanes, you got to play outside of 5 right now, I think.
Well, I think Leanne, Denny, what she does is she sets the ball in deeper around the 11th board, but at Leanne's breaking point, she is out around the 5th, 6th board,
All right.
and the ball is coming back. So Leanne just has a later breaking point.
I guess I just feel like she needs to move a little right and open them up a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
Well, she could have just, I mean, I think in the last 2 frames that Leanne just tugged the ball.
I don't know. We'll see. I watched her a little in practice. She's playing a little more direct for her. When she plays direct, though, she still bellies the ball a little bit. We'll see. She trails by 10, so she's still in the thick of the match. A little further right, I would say. The break point had to be a little bit.
Definitely. That ball came slicing back. Now, her ball at 15 feet is around the 11th board. And then at 45 feet, it's at the 7th board. So she is in only about 1 board deeper at 45 feet.
But much more direct. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That this is direct for her. You know, when she bellies 4 or 5 boards, that's like playing them dead straight.
But she's creating more area. Now, Leanne can belly the ball all the way out to the 3 board, and it's going to make it back.
Yeah. A little tug there, and I don't know. She gets a strike, throws a Brooklyn, the match is even, but I think right now Leanne is really questioning, boy, is it the equipment? Am I playing the wrong spot? But, you know, it's easy to sit up here and say, hey, move to the right and play the 1 or 2 board. She's obviously thrown some shots out there and didn't get the kind of reaction that she wanted. I mean, right now, Nikki G, all she's got to do is make a good shot. She hits the pocket.
I think Leanne's really just not trusting it.
You think?
At this point.
I know one thing. You set it a little short. It's not going to stay right of the head pin.
No, you definitely have to get the ball long down the lane.
Now, see, this was a tug. That last shot wasn't. It was left of her target from the very beginning, and when it's left of the target, it's left of the head pin. Of course, after the shot she threw on 33 that hung on the 1 board, you know, you're right. She might have been thinking about it.
I saw a few channel balls this week.
That long, gray, dark shot, huh?
Well, that's the chance you take when you play out that far. You know, you just missing your target by 1 board and you're in the channel, so.
Well, it's a gambling type of an angle. You're gambling that you're going to strike from out there, and sometimes that's where you have to play them in order to get the best angle and the best carry. So that ball hits the 6 board, and it was left from the very beginning. If you get it left of like the 5.5 board, you got problems.
And we'll take a look at frame 3 as she struck on this shot.
See?
Right around the 5th board.
Right. Big difference.
1 board can make, right?
Really incredible. You wouldn't think about it, but it does.
And the speed was consistent in both attempts.
Okay. Better shot. And a strike for Nikki Gianulias in the 6th. As Leanne Barrette, after the Brooklyn in the 5th, now leads by 3. Well, let's see if your theory was correct, although she threw a beautiful shot here on the right-hand lane the last time.
Just 4 years on tour, this lady has 8 career titles. As right now, she's leading the 1990 average board.
And she didn't do anything to hurt herself this week, averaging 223. See, not as much belly. Throws another Brooklyn. Well, she is living dangerously right now, and obviously confused, even locked up a little bit, I would think. She is not trusting the shot at all. She's not throwing it right.
No, I think Leanne's just a little bit tense here. In her 1990 television average was 194. You know, it's really been a while since she's won.
Well, she said her duller equipment was hooking very, very early, so she was going to probably go with a shinier piece of equipment and just try and hit the pocket. So she really wasn't feeling comfortable with this pair during the practice session. Now that ball went right to start. Still hooks across the head pin. Well, 3 consecutive Brooklyn strikes. Now, if this were Tish Johnson bowling, you'd be saying, hey, those are great shots. but that's 3 Brooklyns in a row. Come on. Is she lining up on the Brooklyn side?
No, definitely not. However, wasn't it just a couple weeks ago she said she was going to because that was her best strike line? Well, her ball is definitely just hooking early, Denny, and she needs to either get inside, catch some of the oil a little bit more, and project the ball longer down the lane. And this is a look at Nikki's shoes as Bozo's looking up at her.
Many people have said it's a circus out here, and I guess they're probably right. That ball was left of target, but it kind of holds on line a little bit. Nikki G with a big strike and a big double in the 7. Cuts the lead back to 13 pins. She's probably wondering how many more Brooklyns is Miss Barrett going to throw?
Well, you never can tell at this point in the match. Nikki hitting around the 6.5 board at that point, 18.5 miles an hour.
Re-rack for Nikki G on the left-hand lane. Don't forget, coming up immediately following Ladies Pro Bowler Tour action, it's live top-ranked boxing from Bally's in Las Vegas. Barry Tompkins, Al Bernstein standing by. There we go. Big title fight, too, in Las Vegas this evening. You won't want to miss that. Trying to cut the lead to just 3. Oh, nice shot. Oh, no, not the solid 8. Nikki G is beside herself, and rightfully so. That's the best shot of the night.
I'm telling you, and she is just dumbfounded, as you might say. She left a solid 9. She re-racked this rack, wondering if the pins were off spot. And watch the head pin here as it goes against the wall. 5 pins straight back, and it's an 8 pin. She's going to talk the ball into the pocket. She's going, come on, come on. She knows it. She ran that shot out.
Perfect shot. Lousy result.
When you leave those solid 8 pins, that head pin actually just gets in the way and nudges out the 5.
Well, a couple of 10 pins. Just really one errant shot for her. It came in the 5th. And a double in the 6th and the 7th. And a solid 8. Now, the burning question, will Leanne throw another Brooklyn? That's right. And the 2-pin remains. So it's really the first shot, I think, since about the 4th frame, where she went flush on lane 34, that she's gotten the ball to the right.
Well, she definitely trusted that ball out as we saw it not make it back.
And if there's anybody out here that can trust it to the right, it's Leanne.
She can create the area that we so often talk about.
No, dream about.
Well, you're right there. I dream about it. I'm sure you're not really dreaming about it these days, but I definitely do.
Leads by 13, and I wouldn't say is in control at this point. The strikes in the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th came on the wrong side. That's better. Nice shot. You have to wonder why. I don't know. I'm puzzled. Good a player she is, they're not going to question what she's doing out there, but that looked like a very clean shot. She just got it started a touch to the right.
Well, that time she set the ball down around the 11th board, came back at the 45-foot point around the 9th board. So she is playing a little bit more direct on lane 33. She got the ball way out to the 6th board on lane 34 when it didn't make it back.
Well, Nikki G was robbed in the 8th. She can still shoot 235. Solid strike, and she has to only wonder what might have happened if she would have carried in the 8th.
Well, in Nikki's career, you have to wonder how many second place finishes can you go? Can she not just breeze into a title? If she carries that 8 pin.
Well, she could have shot 256 if she goes off the sheet and carries the 8. She could have shut Leanne right out of this match. Meanwhile, after the solid 8 in the 8th, best she can shoot is 235, and Leanne can shoot 248. It's amazing.
shot there.
One after another.
Nikki is definitely lined up. If there were any more players to go through the field, this lady would do it.
She's a real hard luck case. Must have broken a couple of mirrors along the way, huh?
Well, last year she fouled on the final ball to lose
in Baltimore to Lita Sill.
To lose the title, I should say.
Has one more re-rack available, and she chats with Fran Wolf, the national tournament director, and opts to go with the re-rack. Hate to say this, but the last time she did that, she left a solid 8.
Really? Maybe she should have left the pin off spot if that was the case. Could we?
Those look pretty good.
What do you think?
I like it.
I'd shoot at it. But we have a better angle.
Sure. Key strike here, though. This puts the added pressure on Leanne in the 10th. Rolls up, another flush strike. Well, should Leanne Barrette win this, you're going to look at the score tomorrow in the paper and say, well, she shot 240 and she won. But boy, oh boy, if you had a chance to watch it, the player who has done nothing but just drill the pocket is Nikki Gianulias.
Yes, if Leanne gets up and strikes out, you must say that this was a gift from above. As you can see there, she needs a strike to force Barrett to strike.
Beautiful performance for Nikki Gianulias, who shot 257 in the semifinal game and then comes back with 235. Leanne Barrette needs a strike and 8 and a spare to win her 9th title. I think of the 2 lanes, 34 is the better one for Leanne. Oh, good shot. Oh, my. Just absolutely picture perfect. A professional shot for Leanne Barrette. Whew.
Beautiful shot. Probably the best shot that she threw the whole game, Denny. And Nikki is kind of in disbelief. Leanne throwing 3 Brooklyns earlier in the game. Nikki with a solid 8-pin.
Boy, this is truly marvelous match here. Some tremendous pressure bowling down the stretch.
Needs at least 8 pins and a spare to win the match.
Gotta trust it, and she does. An X. And Leanne Barrette, who needed to count 20, and she needed a strike in the 10th, comes up with a key double. Just one of the indications why many people, many of the experts, the bowling writers across the country, have tabbed this player as the next superstar on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. Boy, marvelous, marvelous bowling. Her 2nd title of the year. She collects the $9,000 for 1st, and she earned it here this evening.
Leanne last week needed a strike to move on in a match, and she ended up with a 10-pin.
Well, the fans applaud. They saw themselves a heck of a title match here in Hammond, Indiana. Leanne Barrette winning 247 to 235.
If you're serious about whole grain,